in this part of the video, we're going to look at the subclass. So circle is a subclass of shape. We do this by saying a colon shape. That means circle inherit from shape class. And in C++, we have three different kinds of inheritance: the public, private, and protected. Most of the time, we do public inheritance. Public inheritance just keep the original public method function still public and private still private. And the other two, you can look it up the detail, but we rarely use the other two. Then in here we have a circle constructor, and which takes in the xy coordinate and the radius, and we have a destructor. Again, it starts with a virtue, so we are trying to do a service to circle's potential child class. And get radius is a constant function because it won't change the state of the circle object. Set radius is a mutator function, and the print, we want to enable dynamic bounding, so we put a virtue there. And get area, we want to enable dynamic bounding, we put a virtue here. So to enable dynamic bounding, with the shape class, we don't need a virtue. The reason we put a virtue in this class, we recognize we could be parent class of some other child class, such as colored circle, that kind of class. So we put a virtue there anyway, just in case in the future we might be a parent class. But if you're sure you're not going to be a parent class, to enable dynamic bounding to this print function, it's your parents' responsibility to put a virtue there. Alright, so now let's take a look at the implementation, how inheritance work here. So in the constructor, we first need, just like in Java, we first need to initialize the parent. How do we initialize parent? This is the syntax. You use an initializer here. You use an initializer. First, initialize your parent by invoking the constructor. So notice if you invoke the constructor inside of the function implementation, that doesn't work. It only works this way on the initializer list. So first initialize your parent, initialize the xy coordinate, then initialize yourself. That's another initializer. Initialize your radius with a passed in radius. It seems like a function invocation, but it's just initializer syntax. This syntax is equivalent to this dot radius equal to this big arrow radius equal to radius. So assign the passing radius to your own instance variable radius. Alright, so that's how you initialize your parent class. And in the destructor, we don't have anything to deallocate, and we're hoping our parent class can deallocate the position object for it. But for us, we only have radius there. We don't have anything to deallocate. I just display a message to show destructor get invoked. Get radius and set radius are trivial. And for print function, first we want to print out the inherited part. How do we do that? Again, we invoke the parent's print function, and this is the syntax how to do that. You use shape colon colon print and pass in the output stream, and then we take care of our own radius here. And the get area, we just go ahead and calculate the area. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is when we put virtue there, we only put it in header file. So take a look. We only put it in header file. When you implement, we don't put virtue there. So that's about circles implementation and how do you use inheritance. Thank you.